And today I thought it would be really fun to do something a little different, and so what I want to do is share some tips and tricks with you and my studio, and we'll just have some fun today. So first thing I want to say to you is about watching me, because I am a left-hander, and so some of you right-handers might have a bit of difficulty trying to comprehend what I'm really doing. So when I was going through my training, a teacher's training, all my teachers were right-handed. I had a horrible time trying to figure out what on earth they were trying to do, especially with using a knife. And I just happened to have a mirror in my hand. I had my back to the TV, and just like now, my computer is behind me. And so I had the mirror in my hand, and I was looking. I just happened to see the TV, and lo and behold, well, let me flip this here. What is in the TV, I actually saw it reverse the image, and so that painter became a left-hander. And therefore, I was able to watch him and learn what he was really doing. And so that's a little tip that I just thought was wonderful. I wanted to share with you. Now, this is my oil painting station, and as you can see, I use an ironing board. That is the most handy thing that was ever invented for painting, because if you stand and paint, it's perfect. You can raise it to the height you need. And then I also have the table with supplies on it, computer, all those necessary things. And this is my acrylic station, still in the garage, but I love it. I love working here because I've got good light. I also have a table here where I do the framing, and all the supplies here. This is called a Stylist, and it has, I don't know if you can see it or not because it's pretty small, but it has a little teeny tip here, a little rounded point, and on the other end it's a little bit larger point. And this is great for tracing if you're a person who likes to trace. Now, this little gadget here is called a wipeout tool. This is the handiest little thing, because if you make a boo-boo, you can just simply on your canvas, now this is just a palette, but you can do this on your canvas. All you do is just wipe it out, and it works absolutely fantastic. And that's on one end. It's a pointed end. The other end is also pointed, but it's a different kind of a point. It works really great if you say you wanted to write your name. You finished your painting, you don't feel good about maybe trying to do this with paint. So you can use this little wipeout tool to do your name. This is one of the neatest gadgets. It's called a tube wringer. And you can use this. I love it for my paint tubes, because when it gets done, you got a lot of paint squished all over. Well, you just put this into your tube wringer and clamp it. Because I'm a left-hander, I'll do it upside down. And you just start squeezing, and it pushes all that paint up to the tip. And so it's a good way. You'll never lose paint this way. I use this on my toothpaste tubes. I use it on any kind of a tube that I have, lotions, everything. And then I just fold it up and just put my clippy back on it, and it keeps everything nice and together, and I really, really, really like that. If you should happen to have a whole bunch of paint left over after you're finished doing your picture, I'll tell you what, just take all that paint and mix it together and put it in a pile. Don't throw it away. Use it for practice. You can take a brush, and you can practice with a brush or a knife, but just say you want to do a tree, just, basic evergreen tree. Just use your brush and practice on your palette. Don't throw your don't throw your paint away. It's always good for something, it seems like. Well, let's say I just have a brush, and this brush is loaded with paint. What I don't want to do is just dip it into my thinner and then start cleaning it, because it's going to make your thinner just totally dirty. So with this brush that's got a lot of paint on it, one of the easiest ways to get it cleaned, partially cleaned, is just lay it flat on your palette. Take your knife, a small knife or a large knife, whatever you have, and just scrape it. Just scrape like so. You will be amazed at how much paint will come out of that brush before you actually clean it. Once you have cleaned your brush with thinner and you have it fairly clean, so it's just very little coming off, take, this is just plain baby oil, and I love this for cleaning. It just picks up any last little particles that may be in your brush, and so this also prevents the paint from drying in your brush, which is really great. And can you see this little this container? This is just one of the things I get at the grocery store for, you know, at the deli where you get potato salad and stuff like that. And then you can buy these little screens at art supply stores. They're great. Anyway, dip in the baby oil and just make sure that you wipe the brush really well. You want to get almost all the oil out if you can. And then you just lay it or hang it upside down, and you're good to go. Another handy hint is never lay your brushes down to dry. Always, always hang them. You don't want that paint, you don't want any paint to dry up in the furrow. Well, this is Dawn dishwashing detergent. I'm sure probably all of you have heard of this, maybe not in foreign countries, but in the US. And if you get paint, this is just a plain t-shirt fabric. If you should get paint, which happens every once in a while, you get paint on your fabric, well, I'll tell you what, all you do, let me wipe this brush a little bit. Dip into Dawn dishwashing detergent with a brush or your finger or whatever you have, and just put your dishwashing soap on the paint, just like that. Just put it on. And then roll that shirt up. Just roll it up, throw it in the laundry, leave it sit overnight, and then it is absolutely good to go. Just throw it in the washing machine and it'll come out really clean. I will use my oil brushes with acrylic, and I know they say never, never, never do this, but I do it all the time. If I want to use it, this brush has oil in it right now. If I want to use it for acrylic, I'm just going to take and just clean it. I'm going to clean it with soap, the Dawn dishwashing soap, put it under running water. Just make sure you clean it really well. Put it under running water, and then it'll just come out squeaky clean, and then you can use it for acrylic. If you're through painting with acrylic, you do the same thing into Dawn dishwasher soap, and then wash it out again. Well, I have a question. How many of you have ever had a paintbrush where you got a lot of paint in it and then you forgot about it and the paint totally dried in there and became hard as a rock, and then everybody says, well, throw that brush away, it's no good anymore? I have a secret that I have used for years. The secret is well, it doesn't have to be this brand, but any kind of oven cleaner. Any kind of oven cleaner. And what you do, and you have to be very safe with this because this is toxic, but put your paintbrush in a baggie. Now this is a brush that has paint dried on it. Take your spray the bottom of the bag, and being careful not to breathe it, and if you need, wear rubber gloves. Just work that oven cleaner into your bristles. Only do this for a couple of minutes. I don't know, can you see this? I hope so. Anyway, just work it a little bit. You'll see that the paint is coming out. The foam will start to get kind of a dirty color. Okay, squeeze, take it out of your thinner, set it aside, clean them really well, lots of soap and water. Anyway, that is my best kept secret. All my students know that, of course, but, well, I guess now the world does too. Well, I hope you learned some things today that you can use in your studio. And so anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.